Crypto DLT with Mr. Connector. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell for daily content. Let's go.
To get into the 21st century, a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We're not going to be buying that, but we are going to use confiscated assets and continue to build that up. We're going to stop selling that. I believe that Bitcoin reserve at today's prices is somewhere between 15 and 20 billion.
What's up, everybody? Mr. Connector back with another late night stream. How's everybody doing today? Or tonight on the East Coast? What is it, about 10:20 on the East Coast? Yeah, doing pretty good today. I figured I'd jump in here and do another stream for you guys. Hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, we had Scott Bessent saying the U.S. will not be buying Bitcoin. What's up with that, guys? Would that send the whole market down or what? What's up, Fishing with Camo Joe in the chat already? Good to see you, my man. Let me make sure everything's right here. Yeah, did that bring the whole market down or what, guys? But it didn't react the other way when he came out and backtracked this just a little bit ago. Here's another article. U.S. Treasury Scott Bessent backpedals. Bitcoin buying still possible. What's going on here? U.S. Treasury says he clarified on X that the department is still exploring a budget-neutral way to purchase Bitcoin, contrasting the earlier comment that tanked the crypto markets. Scott Bessent clarified that the department is still exploring budget-neutral ways to buy Bitcoin for the strategic Bitcoin reserve, contrasting with his recent statement suggesting the plan was off the table, which triggered this Bitcoin sell-off. The Treasury is committed to exploring the budget-neutral pathways to acquire more Bitcoin and expand the reserve and execute the president's promise to make the U.S. the Bitcoin superpower of the world. So he had to come back and walk that back to make sure everybody understands that there's budget neutral ways to get Bitcoin. And, he's not touching the other digital assets. It's all about Bitcoin, as we've seen. And no, he didn't even say anything about the, what is it called? The digital asset stockpile. No mention of that. So what's going on with that? I don't know, guys. What's up, Maximum FOMO? And Joe Buddy in the house. Yeah, Max Headroom. Yeah, back in the day. Bessent said the opposite earlier. Yeah, that he wouldn't be buying it. Yeah, I just covered that right at the beginning. That they wouldn't be buying it, and then he had to walk that back. His crypto team manager must have immediately freaked out. Yeah, for real. Maximum's keeping an eye on the Monero attack. Yeah, I talked about that last night a little bit. With Cubic AI attacking Monero, their 51% attack. They held off on that, though. From what I've seen, they stalled out on that. I don't know if they can't keep it up or they're just testing the waters. But like Apex Crypto said, $75,000 a day. Oh, no, was it 75 million a day? I can't remember how much it was. But that's not much when government prints money every day. It could be agencies. Who knows what's going on with that? If agencies are involved in that. Let's check out the connector coins right quick. We've got XDB up again. That was up yesterday. Nope, I refreshed. I walked that back. XDB is barely up 4% after that rise yesterday. 30% on the 30-day. But Electronium's in the lead today, only up 4%. So we're in a little bit of a red day. That's why I put my red thumbnail up. We're going to have some pullbacks on the way up. Stronghold. Right there in the blue on the 1 minute candles. We're expecting some new exchange listings on that any day. Proton Loan. Still hanging in there after that good rise we had last week. Tron. Hash, Provenance, Zebek, XPRT. Let's check out the XRP ledger coins right quick. Past 24 hours. XRP Turbo's down the most. But as far as leading the way, again, that CFT crypto trading coin. I'm not very familiar with that. I know there's a big marketing campaign that's been going on for that. Number 2, ASC Ascension and PBM. And then Ooga Labs is still up again today. Good to see that. Cool. Let's keep it going. We'll get to our crypto news in just a minute. Let's look at the American cryptos. Number 1, of course, in America. By market cap is XRP. Number 2, Solana, USD Coin, and Dogecoin, and Cardano. I did my Cardano midnight airdrop thing today. It was a little confusing, but I figured it out. It looks like that's going to run pretty good. I've got to check back in. I think after this first period, there's like 3 different periods. I need to check back in on it and keep an eye on that. But top American cryptos. Egen Layer up 18%, Scale up 16%, and Cardano's up again. 9%, 10% almost. DYDX as well. Cool. Let's keep it going. What kind of categories are popping off today? The insurance category. This one called RAP NXM. I looked this up just a minute ago. NXM, it's an insurance coin. Ethereum contract address. The first crypto insurance alternative covering crypto since 2019. 5.75 billion in crypto protected. 10,000 covers provided. Number 1 in claims paid. As a leading digital asset fund, Edge Capital is committed to providing superior return to your liquidity pools while safeguarding their assets by relying on Nexus Mutual as a key part of our security strategy. So Edge Capital is using Nexus for insurance. That's kind of interesting. Insurance on chain.
It's almost immutable.
What's up, Jeffrey? Good to see you.
Trust it more than an Oracle database.
Joe, what are you talking about? What we got to do for that? For the airdrop? For the Cardano airdrop? Yeah, it's a little complicated. I don't have any, actually. Yeah, I do have, if you'd say Vin's page pulled up here. You've got to create a brand new Cardano wallet. Let's see if I can show you right quick for you guys interested. Okay, here's the At Midnight Foundation. Let's check that out. And their website, midnight.foundation. Learn more about Midnight.network is having their Glacier drop. So you got to create a brand new Cardano wallet. What was the name of that wallet I just created? Started with an L. How to claim. What was the name of that wallet? Not Leap Wallet. So yeah, I use my once you create it has to be a brand new wallet with no transactions in it. There's several different Cardano wallets that are supported, but you just go through the steps here, and it's got, once you have the wallet, God, what was the name of that wallet? I can't remember. It should show it here somewhere, the list of the wallets. How to claim night, glacier drop. Where's my mind? Where's my mind at? I can't, it started with the L. Sorry guys, I just cannot remember it. Anyway, there's a list of several different wallets. And anyway, you sign with the Zaman wallet if you want to claim using your XRP address. And you go through the steps, you know, midnight. But go to midnight.network to figure all that out. It was a little bit of process. I had to trial and error just a little bit. But Joe, if you know how to do the setup for the Cardano Midnight airdrop, I bet you did it a step-by-step video. If you did a step-by-step video, it would be massive views. Not sure if you were monetized yet, would make a killing. Not on views, no. I gotta have like 1,000 subscribers to get monetized for that. I don't get what you mean by set up our Cardano wallet. I have cold wallets, Ledger, client, decent. Yeah, I wish I could remember the name of that wallet. Claim night. Yeah, I'm just doing a live stream here, guys, on the roll here. So here we go. Current wallets being supported. Here we go. Sorry about that. So you have to download the Lace wallet. That's it. LACE. That's what I used. And once you do that, it's got a button on the Lace wallet that takes you through all the steps. And so that would be your destination address in the Lace wallet. What's up, Mojo? Yeah, I don't know if I could do a video on that. I don't have it on my streaming rig. Got it on a laptop, you know. So, I mean, I may can figure that out. But you just go through the steps, download the Lace wallet, and sign it with the Zaman wallet, and then you go through this, you give it the Zaman wallet address, approve it on Zaman, and go back to the Lace wallet and put in your, just connect it with Lace. It's all built into the Lace wallet. And that's a light wallet. It's just a browser extension wallet for your web browser. And then you have to sign at the end. You have to sign with your Zaman again. So you have to sign twice. So I got my allocation. But it's like a long process. It's going to take a year to get all the tokens. But it did show how many I was going to get. And I have to wait like 50 days for the second, for like there's like a thaw out period right now. And after 50 days, you have to re-sign or unthaw or something. It's pretty wild. I'm not a Cardano user. I've got some old Cardano tokens, but never really been involved in that. But if you guys are interested, just go to midnight.network and run through that. Yeah, let's see if Ledger, you know, if you want to use, these are all the Cardano wallets highlighted here. You can use the Ledger. There's also, if you held AVAX or BNB or Bitcoin, BAT, Ethereum, Solana. And I just did it with one XRP address. I'm not going to get crazy with it. Cool, cool. Let's keep it going. Let's check out the crypto calendar of events today. Yeah, just trial and error. Just get in there and try it. You know, what I did though is I moved, just to be safe, I created a new account on the XRP ledger and moved those tokens that were from the Cardano snapshot in the XRP ledger. I moved those tokens over to the new account. So when I go to sign using the old account, there's no risk of losing coins because there's no coins in the wallet. You know, I thought that was a pretty safe thing to do. Cool, cool. Tomorrow, Friday, let's look at the calendar of events. See if there's any coins we're interested in. I'm just going to burn through this right quick. Flair is having an interview with Jenna X to talk all things decentralization, a town hall with VELO's coming up tomorrow at 12 p.m. UTC. I love VELO. Avalanche is having a token unlock. That's about it for tomorrow. Cool. Let's look at the market cap, see what kind of pullback we had. This is the week chart on the total crypto market cap. We were over 4 trillion yesterday. Now we're at 3.98. And the Bitcoin dominance has pulled back again a little bit. It's struggling, guys. Bitcoin dominance. The alts are trying to run. Seems like every time we try to get an altcoin rally, something happens. Let me take a quick look at my XRP. I've got that in a Roth IRA account. It's a 2X. So when the coins aren't doing good, it goes down twice as low. So in the past 5 days, I'm down 16%. But, if XRP goes back up, it's going to go up twice as hard, So I'm just kind of holding that and seeing. Don't have much in it, just something to look at. Circle's down. Coinbase is down. Trying to come back up. Let's look at that gold chart to make sure we're not refreshed here. $3,339. There's your 1 month chart on gold. And here's your 1 month chart on silver. $37.91. Cool. Let's get to CryptoPanic.com to see what kind of news is coming out. Bitcoin price slides 4% after strong rally. Bitcoin tanks on hot PPI inflation. Dogecoin, Ethereum, XRP follows. PPI numbers were not looking good today. Yeah, 4 trillion is huge, man. I remember being in the space when it was under 1 trillion. Joe says we need liquidity in the alts. That could come with the 19 XRP spot ETFs announced. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? There's a bunch of them. As I was saying last night, I wouldn't be surprised if, they released a bunch of coin ETFs at the same time. That way it's kind of hidden. I wouldn't put it past them. Q4 will decide if the 4-year Bitcoin cycle is dead. A lot of people are saying the 4-year cycles are dead. SEC punts decision deadlines for the Solana ETFs by 2 months. They're pushing it back still. Will Tron coin pierce price 8 consecutive weekly gains? Yeah, guys, I told you guys about Tron. Started talking about Tron about a month ago because they went public, right? And I was saying that, that's going to be just like MicroStrategy. That's the whole reason of going public, so they can, collateralize those shares and buy more Tron. That way they can collateralize the Tron and buy more Tron over and over, rinse and repeat, just like MicroStrategy is doing with Bitcoin. So that is no surprise that Tron's had 8 consecutive weekly gains since then. U.S. Treasury doubles down, hits crypto exchange Garantex with a second sanction. So the U.S. Treasury is not playing around, guys. Trump-linked miner buys $314 million worth of Bitmain ASICs. So I guess mining's still a thing. Still sticking around. Mining is going nowhere, it looks like. Ethereum's price surge spurs debate over sustainability. Taiwan to revise the 2025 growth outlook after the U.S. tariffs. South Korea unveils plan to boost crypto market amid regulatory reforms. All right, South Korea. They love XRP over there. Hot inflation clouds Fed path, but crypto bulls eyed Q4 liquidity surge. And the Japanese corporate Bitcoin strategies vary, Korean exchanges, and more. Citigroup prepares to enter crypto custody and stablecoin market. Let's check out this. I like to just burn through these headlines, guys, just to kind of see what's going on in the space, and we'll click on an article if it looks good. Deny those cookies. And let's get see if our man AI will help us out with a summary. Give us a detailed summary of this page, please.
Sure. This article covers Citigroup's move into crypto custody and stablecoins. The bank's looking to offer digital asset custody services, and they're even considering launching their own stablecoin. Essentially, they want to modernize payments and asset management, taking advantage of a more favorable regulatory climate. They're also eyeing the custody of assets for crypto ETS, which is a big deal considering the scale of those funds. Their push could be a game changer, especially with faster tokenized payments and more secure asset protection.
So Citicoin wants its own coin. They want their own walled garden and ETF custody. All the banks are coming in. All the businesses will have their own coins as well. That's why I was talking about the blockchain of brands, XDB, at the beginning of the show. That's all these businesses can get in and have these promotions with their own coin. Just hop onto this layer one here, XDB. That's a copy of Stellar. XLM. Joe Buddy says, I still believe in cycles, not exactly 4 years. Everything goes in cycles, everything in life and universe. Good. Yeah, good comment. Totally. Your AI sounds like a smooth brother. Yeah. Yeah, I love my AI. Canyon, the AI is what they call him. Okay, let's keep it going. And get rid of some of these tabs. And back to this. You saw where City's getting in the game. See if there's any more articles coming out. All assets will end up on the blockchain, says the Coinbase CEO. We knew that, didn't we? They're all coming to crypto. Yeah, but another bank don't want to use another bank's coin. Exactly. They're all walled gardens. They have to interoperate somehow. But the thing is, they're the only thing I'm worried about, the interoperability, is that, what was it? UBYX is a company, Peter Thiel backed UBYX. That's a company that's got a stablecoin interoperability platform for banks. When banks get an outside stablecoin, if you go into Citi with a Wells Fargo coin, they need that. They need to be able to convert it to their own coin or whatever else, other coin. They need to be able to swap it one for one. And that's what that UBYX is for. I think that's the name of it. Let me look it up. UBYX. Stablecoin platform. Yep, stablecoin liquidity. Ubiquity is what it's called. So this is a private company that's going to do one-for-one swap for banks, stablecoins. But what's crazy is they've got their own, you've got to set up your own pre-funded account with them. So a bank sets up pre-funded accounts to do these swaps. And once UBYX gets that coin, then they use all these different ledgers. They use the XRP ledger, they use Ethereum, name it, to go and send that out from there. So eventually it's going to have to hit these public blockchains, whether it's from the banks directly or from a company like UBYX, Ubiquity. UBYX is a clearing system that allows anyone anywhere to deposit stablecoins from many issuers and multiple currencies into existing bank and fintech accounts. and receive full value. UBYX transforms stablecoins from crypto assets into digital cash equivalents, ensuring seamless redemption through regulated financial channels while preserving decentralization and peer-to-peer payments on many blockchains without intermediaries. So yeah, like I was saying, eventually somebody's going to have to go use a public rail to interoperate. What's up, Angus? Jack Dorsey's block introduces tool-free modular Bitcoin miner with a 10-year lifespan goal. That's pretty cool. Jack's new peer-to-peer messaging beta is out. What's up, Lizard? And that peer-to-peer messaging beta, I think it's on Android. He said expect bugs, but it works via Bluetooth. It doesn't use the internet. So it hops Bluetooth from phone to phone, which you have to be around other people and other phones. So it hops from phone to phone to send messages without the internet. So Jack Dorsey's always involved in something. Ton Station Daily Combo 15. I don't know what that is. I never used Telegram much. Ton. Useless DeFi, its name. I don't know what that is. All right, let's keep going. Let's check out my X bookmarks. So we saw where Scott Bessent said they won't be buying Bitcoin, but then he walked it back and said there's budget neutral ways to acquire it. But he didn't even mention the strategic asset stockpile. So from what I understood, though, the strategic asset stockpile is going to be what the Treasury uses to make gains off of for the country. And the reserve is opposite. You know, that's like a oil reserve or medical instruments or dollar reserves that the country has. It's kind of put it on the shelf until it's needed to regulate the price of something, which makes sense with Bitcoin. So what's happening tomorrow, guys? We've got Trump headed to Alaska to meet Putin to try to get this war straightened out. Hopefully they can come to an agreement, and hopefully we can move past that. But no one wants to talk about the international money system and how that needs to be agreed upon. Nobody asks questions about that, about BRICS, about the SWIFT system. You know, Russia's had all these sanctions. They're not using SWIFT. So let's see what goes on with that. Also tomorrow, Paul Atkins is going to be on the Maria Barcelona on Fox Business tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. to discuss his crypto project. So is he going to talk about what exemptions he's carving out? You know, that's a good question. He keeps talking about technological exemptions for securities and digital assets. I think that's a good question to see which coins he's going to be carving these exemptions out on. And hopefully some of our utility coins are going to be part of that. Lizard said UK is pooping bricks. Yeah, they're not going to, they want to stay in war, don't they? Hopefully we can get an end to this mess. Everybody says no one will convince me Satoshi is not a government op. Yeah, that's what it seems like this whole time. We saw the video of the Homeland Security lady saying that one of their guys went and talked to the 4 Satoshis out in California. I think that's what she said, out in California, yeah. But there's no telling what kind of agency they were a part of, right? Who knows, guys? I've always felt like it was an op. I haven't been in Bitcoin, since 2018, 2019. I always just felt like I was scared to hold it, right? That's just me, though, guys. If you're holding it out there, I hope you make good money off of it. Okay, we've got Mr. Red Pill. saying the central bankers, we print money and people believe it. It's a good little take. He's got, I don't know who he's retweeting here. Lizard says if the U.S. and Russia team up, they're screwed. Yeah. We saw the Marvin Gaye photo back in the day with Trump and Putin and Xi Jinping coming to an agreement with XRP. Who knows, guys? Wouldn't that be wild if that came true? And Trump, you know, there's rumors of Trump secretly working with those two in the background. We shall see. I'm down with that. Can't we all just get along, right? That's a good little video here. Let's check this out. This is the central bankers. I don't know if you guys saw this before. I think it's about a year old. We print money and people believe it. This is crazy.
We actually fund ourselves and then work out what dividend is needed to pay. So we kind of work, it's a great business to be in, central banking. You print money and people believe it. And
we print money and people believe it. No, we've just been stuck with it. I haven't been believing it. Most people do believe it, though. They just print it out of thin air. It's insane what's going on. Is that the same lady, Joe Bodie, that sent the 4 Satoshi? She's now the head of Nashville Homeland Security. I hope, but don't believe the story. Lizard says, good British imperialist banking system. Yeah, that's about to go out, you know, in the level playing field is where it's at. And we're ahead of it, aren't we?
They literally laugh at us. A 1% minority, these global elites that have found a way to infiltrate nations around the world, to create central banking operations that allow them to print this piece of paper physically and digitally into oblivion, thus reducing our buying power. Therefore, prices are up, the middle class is being abolished, you have first world countries becoming third world, you have wars that are being funded by both sides of the party, you have fractional reserve banking where they take your
That's what's always killed me, realizing that wars are funded by, you know, people. You got some bankers, central bankers funding both sides of the wars. That's big money out there.
money on deposit, lend it back out, and make money off of it. You have political insider trading. You have influence from lobbyists and bills and senates and all sorts of things that are getting passed without our consent, unconstitutional bylaws, all sorts of broken infrastructures. And if you think this is bad, you're right. And if you think that's a problem, you're right. And if you think this is accidental, that's where we're wrong. It's all designed.
Check this out, how the economy works. It's a good little graphic here. Lower the rates, the economy's weak, so they print money, QE. Go up the stairs, inflation is high, raise the rates. And there's this soft landing right into a recession.
And set up this way to make us tired, to make us stressed, living paycheck to paycheck, living in fear, stress, and anxiety, to not be able to think clearly, to question the very powers that have been in place for so long. It's time to rise up and share and speak out. When will it end?
That's right. Rise up. USA Treasury asset-backed debt-free currency payable to the bearer on demand. Yeah, we need Judy Shelton in there with those asset-backed T-bills. Back it with gold, back it with silver, whatever you got. And what happens when you collateralize those T-bills into stablecoins? That's a gold-backed digital currency. Bring it on. We can take that. We got the DTCC weighing in. They're proud to have contributed to phase 1 of the proposed risk mitigation framework, RMF, for non-financial risk in blockchain infrastructure. The initiative represents a foundational step towards establishing mitigation pathways. We saw the experiment that they had a couple months ago where there was a bank over in Europe that they had to call them, and they gave them a margin call because one of their commodities trades was going under, right? So they had a margin call, and the bank said, they had to re-up, they had to put more into the trade to keep it from getting liquidated. And the bank over in Europe said, well, I've got these ERC20 tokens. What would you call them? Oh, they were Ultra tokens. It's like a gaming platform token on ERC20. Will you accept those as collateral? And the DTCC said yes. And within 5 minutes, they had re-upped their collateral on their position. So that right there tells you this stuff's here to stay. All these coins, as long as they have underlying value on them, they're going to use them for collateral. So the DTCC is well underway to getting that going. They've already stated that they're using, that they're accepting crypto as collateral. Very cool. Lizard says funding their own healthcare research and development. And Joe Buddy says, and it's gone, poof. So after the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the U.S. will not make new acquisitions for the crypto reserve, Digital Perspectives weighs in, and that is because it would take away from the U.S. taxpayer. Right. They can't just buy with our tax money, right? The solution is the U.S. Treasury issuing digital asset bonds for U.S. domiciled assets. Isn't that interesting? Digital asset bonds for our U.S. cryptos. By market cap, they are XRP, Solana, USDC, Dogecoin, Cardano, Chainlink, Stellar, Sui, Bitcoin Cash, Hedera, Avalanche, Litecoin, Uniswap, Aave. So digital asset bonds out of these tokens. And yes, if the U.S. government is going to use Bitcoin, that means it is a U.S. domiciled asset at my house as well as XRP, XLM, ADA, and Sol. Yeah, I guess if they use it, but it's not U.S. Or is it? Who the hell knows what it is, right? U.S. citizens can earn on the bond. The U.S. can acquire the digital asset without costing the taxpayer a nickel, but instead allow them to earn right alongside their own government. Think wartime bonds. It's a no-brainer. That's an interesting comment there. Lizard, did you see Coinbase drop 50% of their XRP due to regulatory uncertainty? No, I didn't. When was this? Recently? I mean, looks like, I think we're out of the regulation uncertainty, right? For XRP. You never know, though, what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe they had to divest because of some reason. Speaking of Coinbase, what's going on with the patents they're using? Got a bookmark here on Coinbase somewhere. Riz says, calls grow for the SEC and the FTC to probe Coinbase over patent claims and disclosures. Oh, that was today? Wow. No telling with that. A formal letter of concerning regarding Coinbase's failure to protect users and shareholders amid patent infringement dispute. Two letters, one to the SEC and one to the FTC, raise urgent concerns about Coinbase Global, Inc. Coins to the ticker. SEC letter highlights patent infringement lawsuit from guess who? Veritasium Capital. That's Reggie Middleton's patents, guys. He's still fighting for that. Veritasium sued Coinbase in 2022, alleging infringement of U.S. patent number this. Failed patent challenge. Coinbase's attempt to invalidate the patent was declined, with a rehearing request also rejected. And disclosure failures. no mention of the lawsuit, the PTAB ruling or risk, financial operational licensing, and SEC filings like 10K or 10Q potentially violating securities laws. Smart wallet risk, users may face legal liability due to patent features undisclosed to them to dispute indemnity clauses, shifting responsibility. Freedom to operate, no analysis disclosed despite ongoing litigation. Shareholding concerns, calls for the SEC to investigate omissions and ensure transparency. So the user agreement issues, they had to update the terms and limit user remedies while holding patent litigation risk. Unequal treatment, retail users are disadvantaged compared to institutional clients with better protections. Wow, that's scary right there for retail. Patent dispute, Coinbase's continued use of disputed tech posts. PTAB loss raises fair questions. Consumer Protection urges FTC to probe these practices are deceptive, unfair. Under Section 5 of the FTC Act, both letters have potential financial and legal exposure for users and shareholders alike and demand regulatory reviews to protect investors from Coinbase's opaque practices. Wow. From users and investors of the platform. Are they patent infringing on Reggie Milton's Veritasium? Yeah, Reggie needs to get paid. I still hold a few Veritasium now from back in the day.
Because how the books and records are kept. How the books and records are kept.
A formal letter concerning Coinbase's failure to protect users and shareholders amid patent infringement dispute. I hope Reggie comes out on top of that.
It's just an accounting ledger.
Lizard King, the XRP news today. Coinbase cuts XRP holdings by 57% amid regulatory uncertainty. Yeah, that's wild. No offense, Lizard. I'm not going to be clicking on links, but appreciate it though, man. Appreciate you trying to chip in and help out the show. Let's see what else we have here.
More than an Oracle database.
DAI posted Bitcoin maxes have been activated by pure coincidence right after the SEC lawsuit ends. Warning XRP Army, prepare to feel like you just got your IQ score back only to find you've been living in a dum-dum land. Oh God, we must have a Bitcoin maxi here. Let's see what he says.
Bitcoin can solve that. It is a completely neutral, decentralized protocol that nobody can control. It's not Solana. It's not Ethereum. It's not XRP. It's none of those. So that is
none of those that actually do things. Bitcoin's the one that solves it.
the biggest problem in the world, and Bitcoin can solve that, and that's going to create a lot of value. What problem is Solana or XRP solving? I don't know. Nobody knows. Well, XRP says that there's going to be a way for banks to transfer money around, like a new SWIFT system. Okay. Do you regularly invest into bank software? Because I don't. How much is bank software worth? What's the total addressable market of bank software? How much are they? How much value do they create? Right? Like, and why can't they just use Bitcoin again? Right? And so I think if you understand,
I'm starting to feel dumb already.
the problem, and then you can understand a solution to the problem, and then it starts to get a little bit technical. But why is Bitcoin different than XRP or Solana? Right? And then you have to start to understand the decentralization and the size of the nodes and why, in order to be decentralized, the node has to stay small enough that anybody in the world could run a node. And then you have to kind of get more to the technical side of things. But what about consensus? And what about voting? And you have to go down all those rabbit holes to understand that Bitcoin is code. So Bitcoin is rules with no rulers. Other platforms have rulers that change the rules all the time, right?
Rules.
Like Ethereum has changed their monetary.
He's breaking it down for us, guys. All these other platforms besides Bitcoin has rulers that rule over it.
Supply, I think 3 times in like the last couple of years, right? And so then you have to start to go, number one, what's the problem? What's the solution? Okay, I understand that. Okay, that's the biggest problem in the world. If we solve that, there's massive value there. What are these solving? I don't really know. Are they big problems? Not really. How much value will accrue to that? Not very much. That's kind of the way I'd look through it. And back to Solana, XRP, et cetera, and I kind of asked about bank software. I asked people about XRP. Tell me what the mechanism is. Why do you think XRP goes up in value? What will the potential future be? Where do you come up with those metrics? They can't.
Non-counterparty digital asset, super DEX, the first DEX in the world, interoperability. Shall I keep going? It's not tribal, it's better tech. That's right, Lizard. Yeah, I'm not tribal. I hope you guys make money if you're holding Bitcoin. I have nothing against it, but to move this world into a level playing field, we're going to have something like XRP. They don't just question XRP. They don't answer the question about XRP. She didn't ask about RLUSD. Okay, so we got Eric Trump skirting around the XRP question. This is from what, yesterday?
When I say you're at the dial-up phase of crypto, you are. We have the fastest growing stablecoin on earth at World Liberty Financial. Everything is becoming
Ethereum's the Tanya Harding of crypto.
digitized. Everything is becoming tokenized. We're making the big banks irrelevant, and it's an incredibly exciting time.
There is no doubt that crypto, digital money, is absolutely something that investors wanted to take part in, and it is growing exponentially, in part because of better regulation, clearer under this administration. But Zach, other than the fact that people feel that it's a way to, I guess, support the Trump family in getting one of these tokens, what are the reasons it would gain value relative to other crypto? Say, for example, XRP, because XRP actually has a function. It is the token of the Ripple blockchain. Ethereum is the token of the Ether network. So what does this do?
Yeah, so
beyond just
So he does not answer that question.
being, oh, hey, it's the Trump family coin.
So this is the governance token behind USD1. USD1 is our flagship product.
I assume he's talking about World Liberty coin.
Eric said, it's the fastest growing stable coin in the world. We're actually, we have way more market cap today than RLUSD. You just mentioned Ripple. Right now we're
So it automatically goes to the stablecoin. He's a stablecoin guy. He's behind the USD1. So he's automatically leaving XRP out of that. They don't talk about a neutral, non-counterparty native asset. It's all about stablecoins.
blowing their stable coin out of the water.
And he says they're blowing RLUSD out of the water.
We have a little over $2.2 billion in market cap. We have over $500 million in volume a day. And right now we're the second biggest genius.
I don't know about you guys, but I am interested in something that they won't talk about. And it's been like that this whole time. I mean, we see these little small players every now and then, like, what was that one recently? Easy A. They're not connected. They're a startup blockchain educational app. And he's predicting $1,000 XRP by the 2030, I think he said. But yeah, I want to know what they're not talking about. I want what the pawn shop owner's got behind the desk. I don't want what's out front, right? I want something that he's hiding for himself. So I think that's what's going on here, guys. Not financial advice on the channel. I'm just showing you guys what I'm looking at and having a good time doing it. Enjoying the Great Awakening and the level playing field and the new financial system that's coming. There we go. I'm going to get out here early, guys. I had a quick little stream tonight. Getting kind of late. I'm going to do my thing. Hope you guys have a good one. Appreciate everybody joining in the chat. Lizard King Fishing with Joe. Camo Joe. Joe, buddy. Maximum FOMO. Mojo. You guys take care. Mr. Connector out. Peace, guys. Good luck tomorrow on the crypto project. Let's see what happens with Paul Atkins in the morning on Fox Business. So make sure you guys check that out. See if he carves out any technological securities exemptions. That should be interesting. Mr. Connector out, guys. Peace out.